Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Hubar begins now.
Good evening. Calls for former Infrastructure Minister Michael Ferguson to resign are growing, with the government slammed for its handling of the bungled rollout of 2 Spirit of Tasmania vessels. MPs banding together, threatening a motion of no confidence.
3 years delayed and more than $300 million over budget. Tasmania's former infrastructure minister pointing the finger at the 2 state-owned companies involved, accusing TT Line and Tas Ports of resisting accountability.
And I'm sorry, I really am sorry, that culture and attitude wasn't the right culture and attitude to get the outcome we needed.
Yesterday, former TT Line chairman Michael Granger told the Public Accounts Committee he'd warned Michael Ferguson of delays. But it wasn't until after the election the infrastructure minister told the Parliament there were issues.
When asked, he has not been honest with Tasmanians. It appears on the face of it that he has misled Parliament.
My record is clear. I would never mislead Parliament.
Labor demanding the Premier steps in, or the opposition will when Parliament returns.
The ducks are lining up and it's not looking good for Michael Ferguson when Parliament resumes.
JLN MP Andrew Jenner and Independent MP Christy Johnston say they're leaning towards backing the move.
We can't have people in those positions of responsibility and power who are incompetent and who have misled Parliament.
Independent David O'Byrne and the Greens say they need to sift through all the information before making a call.
So unless Minister Ferguson can dispatch the evidence that's been provided by Mr Granger, we have grave concerns about his capacity to be a minister.
But Mr Ferguson is refusing to sink.
If anybody is seriously suggesting that another stunt motion in Parliament is going to help anybody, they're bonkers.
More choppy waters to come. Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmania News.
A Tasmanian trainee teacher has been charged with possessing child exploitation material. The Launceston man was arrested following a raid at his Riverside home late yesterday. Victoria Eastoe has more.
Damien Brown faced the Launceston Magistrates Court this afternoon on a charge of possessing child exploitation material. Officers from the Tasmania Joint Anti-Exploitation Team raided his Riverside home yesterday, seizing devices which police say contained child abuse material. The 44-year-old did not enter a plea during his brief appearance today. Mr Brown has worked as a journalist at several media outlets across the state, including this program. He's most recently been employed as a trainee teacher at St Thomas More's Catholic Primary School in Launceston. Catholic Education Tasmania says it's cooperating with Tasmania Police and is undertaking appropriate internal investigations. Damien Brown has been bailed to front court again next month.
A coroner has recommended the state government implement legislation making not having adequate pool fencing illegal. It follows an inquest into the drowning of a 4-year-old boy at his Bridgewater home 4 years ago. Coroner Robert Webster ruled Talon Pitt died as a result of lack of parental supervision and a lack of pool fencing. Police are pleading with drivers to take more care on Tasmania's roads to help stop the road toll from climbing. 26 people have lost their lives so far this year, 4 in the past fortnight. Police say inattention and high-risk driving behaviours are the most common causes of crashes, urging drivers to consider the lasting impacts of road trauma before getting behind the wheel. Metro bus services may be impacted from tomorrow as drivers ramp up their campaign for better pay and conditions. Workers will begin working to rule, meaning they would not go above and beyond to deliver services. The union saying a temporary pay rise last year hasn't delivered the workforce boost the operator needs to reinstate hundreds of suspended bus services. The industrial action will remain in place indefinitely. Residents have moved into their rooms at a newly refurbished health centre in the state's heartlands. Oatlands Health Centre's new wing delivering care closer to home.
The first stage of a new residential wing at the Midlands Multi-Purpose Health Centre in Oatlands is now complete. 8 rooms equipped with everything its residents could need, seeing them make themselves comfortable over the past week.
So this increases the numbers to 30 beds here across the facility, and the other wonderful health services that are provided, including of course the GP practice that operates here in Oatlands as well.
The first of its kind in the area, the centre has been mostly community driven over its many years in operation. Spearheaded by staff, doctors on site, auxiliary members and local counsellors, there's been a focus on delivering high quality care closer to home.
The rebuild of this part of the facility and the increased number of rooms will further improve our 5-star nursing home. Provides a great service to the community.
The second stage will be getting underway in the coming months. Around the same time, a new ambulance station just a stone's throw away will have wrapped up. Residents in this new wing are making themselves at home among the features.
It gives them a separate ensuite. It's also got an outside entrance so that they can go out to the garden at any time that they wish. And there's also 2 purpose-built rooms where we've got hoist facilities, and they're a lot larger. A
new extension keeping our heartlands connected to critical services. Will Boddy, 7 Tasmania News.
There's still plenty to do on tomorrow's Launceston Show public holiday, even though the show itself isn't going ahead. Launceston Central putting on a free family fun day in Riverbend Park with music, activities and food from 11 a.m.
With the gap now on that public holiday, we really wanted to give people something fun to do, especially now that the weather's getting better, get them outside, get them active and enjoying our beautiful surrounds.
If it's rides you're after, the Showman's Guild is filling the void, bringing the best of Sideshow Alley to Glebe Farm Road. Former Premier Peter Gutwins met with Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and Opposition Leader Peter Dutton after arriving in Canberra this morning. He's been walking from Sydney to shine a spotlight on Australia's migrant community, achieving his goal today of seeking bipartisan support for a motion supporting a diverse and culturally inclusive nation. Meanwhile, a passionate Tasmanian advocate has completed her own gruelling journey, walking from Brighton to Launceston, raising awareness for individuals living with hidden disabilities. Joined by her trusty sidekick, 5-year-old Jack Russell Terrier, Harry Chloe Kreft.
Simple things like people tooting their horn, people running out of their cars, giving gifts and donations. I've got to give a shout out to all the little towns I've visited.
Money raised from the trek will go towards establishing physical hubs where people can connect and access relevant services. Recognising the contributions of young people was centre stage in Devonport today. Over 50 high achievers from the Northwest Coast applauded for their contribution to helping others.
Guest speaker at the 2024 Inspiring Youth Awards, Janie McLeod from Gawler spoke bravely about the journey that saw her wind up in a wheelchair 4 years ago. The audience listened intently as she described being intoxicated and thinking she was invincible.
And unfortunately, I was a show-off.
Janie fell from the back of a ute and suffered a spinal cord injury. Today she inspires students to make wise choices.
My message to young people would be to choose wisely who you're around and don't peer pressure.
A valuable lesson to those in the room today to make the most of their lives, many of those being recognised for doing just that.
The winner of the 2024 Quiet Achiever category is Layla Griffiths.
19-year-old Matea Gibson from Somerset receiving the High Five Award for her work in helping people with mental health issues.
You don't do it to get recognised, but it's really exciting when you do. I'm just thrilled that so many people are being recognised for the amazing work that they are doing.
The event promoting positive actions and helping to shape and inspire young people.
It's about recognising those daily challenges with adversity, or supporting someone in an unlikely friendship, anything along those lines that's often not celebrated, but we think it's worth celebrating.
Melinda Ogden, 7 Tasmania News.
It's the largest showcase of wooden boats in the Southern Hemisphere, and organisers are calling the 2025 event the biggest one yet. Partnering with the Old Woolstore Hotel, Hobart's Wooden Boat Festival is focused on providing entertainment for all generations.
There's a large Japanese jungle gym coming all the way from Gifu Prefecture. There's Huon Pine bubble building.
But also it does drive visitation to the area, so there are commercial benefits as well for the entire city of Hobart.
The festival runs from the 7th till the 10th of February next year. And from its traditional home on the streets of Longford, Motorama is moving up the road to Symonds Plains for a new look show in just over a fortnight. Celebrating the past, present and future of racing, organisers are promising plenty of on-track action, but also something for everyone.
We've got music, live music, we've got dancing, we've got children's entertainment, and we've got a lot of on-track demonstrations. Go for a cheap family weekend.
Motorama runs October 26 and 27.
After looking shaky earlier this afternoon, the Tigers find themselves in a tough but far from impossible position after day 2 of their first Shield clash. It follows a 239-run partnership from Test batsmen Marcus Harris and Peter Hanscom yesterday, setting up the Victorians nicely. Having piled on a further 98 runs in this morning's session, 2 quick catches with a final straw for the Victorians to declare on 428. From there, it was Caleb Jewell on song until being caught for 32.
And finally, the wicket falls, and it's the big one of Caleb Jewell.
Fellow opener Jake Weatherald making a steady play for runs alongside Charlie Wakeham.
That is a magnificent drive from Charlie Wakeham. That is the shot of the day.
But a dive from Victorian keeper Sam Harper would send Wakeham packing on 18. Weatherald gifting this catch a few balls later.
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
In an almost unbelievable case of right place, right time fielding. The Tigers' free fall continuing shortly after lunch, Jake Doran exiting on 33 before Jordan Silk and Beau Webster teamed up to salvage the Tigers' chances, a 50-run partnership to close the day with 227 runs still to chase. The newest hurricane was on the wrong side of that one. Kiwi Susie Bates knocking 20 before signing on with the Canes today. With 100 WBBL games to her name, she comes from the Sydney Sixers as the 12th highest run scorer in the comp. Bates will arrive at the tail end of the season to replace international draftee Danny White-Hodge, who's only available for part of the season. Hobart's Alana Smith is through to the WNBA final after winning Game 5 of the semi-final series with her Minnesota Lynx. Smith landing 2 of 3 shots from beyond the three-point line as a first quarter lead helped them waltz to an 11-point win over Connecticut. They play the best of 5 final against New York Liberty from Friday morning our time.
Good evening. Hobart taking out the state's high today with a lovely 19 degrees, 15 in Launceston, Devonport 14 and 13 for Burnie. Bushy Park 18, we saw 17 at St Helens and Grove, 16 on King Island and at Friendly Beaches, Smithton and Maria Island both 15 and 14 for Flinders Island, Lyowini and Strawn. Cloud pushed over northern Tasmania today but cleared to sunny skies this afternoon. Southeastern Australia is visibly cloud-free as a frontal band is building to the south of the Bight. Tomorrow, a cold front will cross the island. High centres lie over northern Tasman Sea and south of WA. North to northwesterly winds reaching upward of 35 knots about the west, with westerly swells at 4.5 metres. A gale warning has been issued tomorrow between Wineglass Bay all the way around to St Helens Point. There is also a strong wind warning for remaining coastal waters and inland lakes. And a warning to sheep graziers for the Midlands, East Coast, Upper Derwent Valley and the South East. A wet and windy day in Hobart tomorrow, 18. Similar conditions in Cygnet with 16 there, 17 and showers in New Norfolk. It will be wet and windy in the north tomorrow, 18 in Launceston, 17 for both Devonport and Campbelltown. Windy but partly cloudy in Burnie, 15, 15 also in Strawn with wet and windy conditions, and much the same in Smithton, 16. Becoming windy but mostly sunny in St Helens, 19. Windy and showery across Swansea, 20, 18 the high for Fingal with possible showers. Friday, showers and hail about the west. Showers will extend to the south during the morning. Snow will fall to 800 metres in the south. As we welcome the weekend, we can expect a morning frost on Saturday. It will be fine apart from light showers about the west. And on Sunday, another frost and foggy conditions at first, but remaining cloudy statewide. Taking a look at capital cities now. A rainy day in Canberra, 23. Melbourne copping a bit of wind tomorrow, 23, and showery over Brisbane.